I believe that this is our challenge for the 21st century, to make the institutions we work in more reflective of the desires for improvement and equity in society as a whole, and more committed to relevant research and teaching.
Community engaged scholarship, as we defined it back in the 60s with regard to the creation of ethnic studies, was rooted in the vision that the place of incredible learning and contributions to community was to engage directly with the struggles that we were products of.
Community engaged scholarship is a win-win opportunity for both the university and the community. It's an opportunity to improve the situation in communities, and it's also an excellent educational opportunity for the students.
I think for me, community engaged scholarship means the idea of taking students and kind of getting out of that classroom setting to understand what's actually going on in the communities outside of our own campus, and thinking about a lot of the concepts that you theorize within the classroom, and being able to take that praxis and kind of talk to community members and really get another type of knowledge.
And for me, community engaged scholarship poses a question to a world-class public university, which has to do with the kinds of knowledge we produce, why we produce them, what counts as scholarship, who produces this scholarship, with whom, for whom, on what terms. And I think community engaged scholarship forces us to confront these questions and to answer them in new ways.
I feel like with the community engaged scholarship, right, it makes it theoretical practical. And my critique of education is that we learn all these theories, we learn about all these people, but how is that addressing my day-to-day life? I don't believe that education or the knowledge that we're learning about is just for our brains and then we just go ahead and make a whole bunch of money. It's about like what can we do for our society and how can we help out those around us and the communities in which we come from. And I think community engaged scholarship does exactly that. And it makes like life for these people real. If you never lived this experience, the only way for you to really know about it is to actually be embedded and immersed in that experience. And that's what engaged scholarship does, in my opinion, that's what it does for me.
It is reflective of the ideal of the university in terms of one of its major fundamental missions, and that is public service. So for me, community engaged scholarship is an extension of that mission of the university.
I think different universities are experimenting with different models of engaged scholarship. But I think what's unique about the Berkeley approach is the twinning of American cultures and engaged scholarship. Because what it does is to make questions of race, class, gender, and other inequalities central to engaged scholarship. So the way I like to think about it is that engaged scholarship becomes a very intimate confrontation with those lived experiences of race, class, and gender.
And ACES is this opportunity for the university, especially Berkeley, to fulfill its public mission, to fulfill its social justice mission, and take some action, and get students engaged in that work and getting out of the classroom into the community, and recognizing that there are just larger systems at play, and that what we're reading in the textbook actually may not be capturing everything that's out there. In fact, it's not.
I said probably not.
It's really not. And there's so many people who are left out of that.
So that is, to me, what a community engagement is, or should be, a combination of words and deeds that result in a particular research product that goes beyond just getting a grade for the student, but rather that contributes toward the empowerment of community organizations that are involved in the day-to-day struggles for survival and for social justice, in our case, with people of color.
I believe the ACES program provides a great opportunity for bridge building. I see through working with my communities back home, whether it be the Filipino community or just the community back in Hayward, seeing how many issues are similar within the Filipino community, with the Chicana, Latina community, and so forth, and how a lot of these spaces tend to work within themselves, but if we're able to gap and bridge these communities together to kind of create some solidarity and attacking these issues together, then the work's going to be less for all of us.
Well, my hope is that the courage of the people who have made community engagement possible, that have funded, that have worked for, and that have committed themselves to what we call community engagement, that the university will recognize that courage and those heroic works.
But I think in the final analysis, we're talking about teaching. We're talking about making it possible for our students to prepare for the 21st century by having the opportunity to participate in community engagement and to know firsthand what their issues are, and not just take a second-hand or accept at face value what a particular textbook says, or by some social scientist who was an expert in the area. In my mind, the institution cannot be meaningful outside of the campus if it doesn't have a particular connection to the community at large. And this is where we come in. I think we provide that connection.
ACES is that space where students and faculty are able to engage with people in the community to work collectively to tackle important issues and to work towards social justice. And it allows for students to take their scholarship and to apply it with the people that they're working with to actually accomplish something.